After decades of playing video games, you have a tendency to stop reacting to surface-level nonsense. You live through every phase: arcade machines, cartridges, discs, DLC, live service, battle passes, and you remember what each era actually felt like. You probably didn't intend to stumble into gaming, but once you did, you built a history with it. You know what worked, what didn't, and what changed along the way. And because of that, you judge value differently now. You're not impressed by packaging or trailers or whatever marketing cycle is trending this month. You're looking for something that respects your time and your experience. Something that feels like it was made for people who've been here long enough to know the difference between loud and good. Most of us in this space don't talk about it, but we all do the same thing. We filter. We measure. We compare. We ask one question: is this real or is this BS? And that's why Battlefield 6 hits differently for the adults in the room. Most of us have a bullshit filter that only lets authenticity through. It didn't show up overnight. No, it came from years of seeing the same tricks recycled. That's why we don't get hyped over fireworks or cinematic trailers or influencer theatrics. After a couple decades of playing shooters, you stop being impressed by all that bullshit. You pay more attention to the things that actually matter. So when the Battlefield 6 trailer dropped, sure, we watched them, but we weren't drooling. Not because they were bad, but because we recognized the formula. It caught our attention, but it didn't control it. A lot of us have been playing Battlefield longer than some players have been alive. We don't need much to decide whether something's worth our time. Does it look grounded? Does it look playable? Does it look like something we'll stick with longer than a week? That's the real filter. For me, Battlefield 6 cleared this bar pretty early. The leaked Battle Labs footage told me everything I needed to know. If the game played half as well as it looked, I was in. I had touched Battlefield seriously since Battlefield 1 on console. I skipped 5 entirely and only poked at 2042 after the trailer. But Battlefield 6? It looked like a return to something I actually wanted. We don't evaluate games emotionally, no sir. We evaluate them historically. We compare every new shooter to the best gunplay we've ever felt, the best map flow we've ever experienced, the best teamwork moments we've ever had, the best balance between chaos and control. Meanwhile, there's a group of players who compare Battlefield 6 to last year's game. Us older Battlefield veterans compare Battlefield 6 to every shooter we've ever played. That's why we can look at Battlefield 6 and say, this feels alright, or this feels off, without needing a breakdown video. This is a big reason I don't do breakdowns. The folks I'm talking to don't need that. They already know. We've internalized decades of design patterns. We know when something is built with intention versus built for noise. And Battlefield 6, for all its flaws, feels intentional. That group of other players I mentioned, well, they tend to judge games by excitement. We judge games by return on investment. We look at time commitment, mechanical depth, long-term replayability, whether the game respects our intelligence, whether the systems reward competence instead of chaos, whether the experience feels grounded instead of gimmicky. We're not chasing dopamine spikes, folks. We're chasing consistency. We want a game that doesn't waste our time, doesn't insult our experience, and doesn't treat us like we need constant stimulation to stay engaged. Battlefield 6, intentionally or not, is built for that mindset. It's not trying to be a theme park, even with a sponsor event, like the Red Bull events. It's not trying to be a meme generator, no matter how many people make them. It's not trying to be a TikTok highlight reel. It's trying to be a shooter, and that alone puts it in rare company. We look for escape without regression. We want something that lets us unplug without feeling like we're being talked down to or dragged into a cartoon version of gaming. Authenticity is the only currency that still matters. And once you've been playing long enough, you can't be sold out of it. We've seen every trend, every gimmick, every recycled trick. Our filter gets sharper every year. If something's real, we feel it instantly. If it's not, we're gone just as fast. This applies to games and to content creators, which is why some of the commentary around Battlefield 6 is laughable. One guy screams about corporate profits without mentioning corporate costs. Another complains about prices without acknowledging the prices company pays. Another pushes his personal wish list into the ether like it's gospel. None of that has anything to do with the actual game. Battlefield 6 delivered what it showed in the leaks, in the trailers, in the beta. Grounded setting, solid mechanics, a clear identity. My platoon plays every day. We're having fun. That's the metric. We don't want a dopamine drip. Gods, we don't need it. We want progression that respects time, unlocks that feel earned, systems that don't waste hours. We want goals that don't require a second job. Rewards that aren't tied to fear of missing out. Battlefield 6 progression, while not perfect, is built on play, improv, unlock systems, and specializations. It's not trying to turn you into a hamster on a wheel. It's trying to give you tools that matter. And most of us appreciate that. The other players just love chaos for chaos's sake. We want controlled chaos. We want readable engagements, predictable systems, consistent mechanics, maps that don't feel like a slot machine, gameplay that rewards positioning, not luck. Battlefield 6 leans into controlled chaos. It's loud, but it's not random. It's fast, but it's not frantic. It's big, but it's not unmanageable. That's why we gravitate towards it. We don't get swept up by hype cycles. We don't need countdown timers, influencer reactions, or 10 things you missed videos. What we ask is, does the game look stable? Does the gunplay look pretty clean? Does the movement look grounded? Does the map design look intentional? Does the UI look functional? We're not looking for spectacle, ladies and gentlemen. We're looking for a signal. And Battlefield 6's signal was strong enough to cut through a lot of that nonsense. We also understand something that other players don't. Games are products. Products have constraints, and constraints shape decisions. Persistent servers? Man, they're expensive, high overhead, low retention benefit. Sponsored events? Revenue stabilizers, marketing partnerships, low developmental costs. AI-assisted assets? Industry standard. Time savers, not a moral crisis. We don't melt down over these things because we understand the economics behind them. We've worked jobs. We've seen budgets. We know how companies operate. We judge the gameplay, not the accounting department. This is why we don't need someone screaming in our ears every 10 seconds. We don't need rage bait thumbnails or the sky is falling theatrics. We don't need someone telling us how to feel about a badge, a patch, or a sponsored event. The AI badge drama? It was a badge. Not generative, not game-breaking, not worth a heartbeat of outrage. We care about whether the game respects the experience, not whether a cosmetic item triggered a YouTuber's content calendar. We want something we can sink our teeth into without being talked down to or dragged into fake nostalgia or fake anger. We can tell when commentary is real and when it's just marketing or manufactured rage. We just want honesty from the game and from the people talking about it. We have seen every cycle of gaming drama. The doomsayers, the conspiracy theorists, the I hate this game but play it 8 hours a day crowd, the outrage merchants, the people who think every patch is a personal attack and an affront. Man, we don't have that energy for that. We look at the game, not the bullshit. Doomsayers, conspiracy theorists, I hate this game but I play it 8 hours a day crowd, the outrage merchants. It's fucking bullshit. And you know it. So when Battlefield 6 has a sponsored motocross event, an AI-assisted badge, a pricing debate, a server decision, a patch that breaks something minor, we don't tend to spiral. We don't lose our minds. We shrug, evaluate, and keep playing. Because we understand something that the other players don't. Every game has bullshit. The question is whether the core experience is worth pushing through it. For Battlefield 6, the answer is yes to a lot of us. And this is where Battlefield 6 shines for us, because we value squad synergy, revives that matter, flanking maneuvers that take a bit of patience, map knowledge paying off because that hints at situational and spatial awareness, weapon mastery feeling satisfying, the rhythm of a good match, the difference between chaos and strategy. Battlefield 6 rewards positioning, timing, awareness, teamwork, and a bit of discipline. Not panic, not randomness, not spectacle. The biggest advantage long-term players have is simple. We know when nostalgia is earned and when it's forced. We know when something feels grounded and when it feels engineered. That's why we gravitate towards certain games, certain gaming mechanics, and certain voices in the community. It's not stubbornness, it's not resistance to change, it's just experience. And when we settle into a game like Battlefield 6, it's not because we're clinging to the past. It's because we recognize patterns. We've seen what lasts and what burns out. We've watched the industry chase trends, chase algorithms, chase attention, and we've seen how quickly that stuff collapses. So when something comes along that actually remembers the fundamentals, we notice immediately. You stop chasing every new trend, you stop letting the noise dictate your mood, you stop letting other people tell you what you're supposed to think. You just play what feels right and what feels real. And Battlefield 6 feels real enough to stay for a lot of us. We don't need perfection. We need honesty. We need a game that knows what it is, commits to it, and improves without losing the plot. If it does that, we'll be here. If it doesn't, we'll walk, quietly, without drama, without a fucking meltdown. Real players don't threaten to quit. They just stop. And that's the part the other players never seem to understand. We aren't afraid of change, we're just done pretending what that bullshit equals quality. We've played enough to know what most games won't hit. So when something finally does, when something respects our time, our intelligence, and our experience, we recognize it instantly. Battlefield 6 isn't perfect, but it's grounded. It's intentional. It's honest about what it is, and it's worth the money spent on the time investment. And after this many years, that clarity matters more than spectacle. You know what feels real. And once you learn to trust that, you stop chasing the industry and start choosing the games that choose you back. And that's really all that matters, isn't it? No one cares about an AI-generated badge. No one cares about needing to change the default audio. No one cares about the Red Bull sponsorships. No one cares about trick shots or your little 180-degree turns. We care if we can play the game. So before you finish your unpleasant Monday, hit me with what's been the best experience in the game for you so far. Was it a kill streak? Was it an RPG to the face? Did you get the player who seems to think you're the only target on the map? Drop them in the comments. And speaking of comments, the rest of the plugs. Okay, so we have new shirts and mugs, which some of you have purchased. Oh, and we have decals too. There's short sleeve shirts, long sleeve shirts, ceramic mugs, ball caps, trucker hats, patches, decals for your laptops. Man, there's a ton of shit in here if you've got the coin. If you are interested in buying from the store but not seeing something you want, man, send me a message. I'll see what I can do. For those of you that made purchases this week, thank you so very much. Memberships to the channel. Okay, I don't pimp this out very much, and lately some people have asked me about it. Basically, you're buying into the channel's growth as a type of subscription. I think it starts at like $1.99 a month, and there's 3 tiers, and the most expensive one is $4.99. You immediately get in-chat badges for right now, but I'm working on a more permanent discount for store items from the merch store for members, and a couple other items. We also have Platoon friends of the channel, more game content from other content creators, some collaborations, others just sharing traffic. Please take a minute and check them out. They might have content you like. You can find more info on Platoon Friends, memberships, and the merch store on the main home page. And lastly, the links. Okay, yes, I have a Twitch account. No, I haven't streamed much, but I plan on changing that once the new studio is set up. The Discord link should be good, but if you're interested in joining the Discord and the link isn't working, just let me know. I'm updating it every upload, and I post 3 times a week. And for those interested, you can find me in-game under this gamer tag if you want to squad up and jam. We're near 3K in subs, folks. We're trying to get past the 3K hump so I can start talking about other games without giving the YouTube algorithm a freaking heart attack. So if you like this sort of thing, consider subscribing. Comments, liking, sharing, subbing, memberships, merch purchases, all this supports the channel to its long and arduous climb to 100K. And speaking of support, I drop a veteran support group each month, 12 a year, in the video description. Each group has a quick bio and a direct link to their home pages. None of them know I do this. Most of my family and extended family are vets, and even I served. These spotlights allow me to continue that mindset at some level. So, open the video description and scroll all the way down to the bottom to find this month's spotlight. Check them out. See if it's something you'd like to support, even if it's a simple link drop in your emails or socials. And that's it. The video and the plugs. Thanks for sticking around until the end. You are the real MVPs. Thanks for watching, everybody. And until the next one, out.
Fuck! I'm bleeding out! Medic!